Before serums and skincare routines were trending, one woman was already building a beauty empire backed by science. Have you ever wondered who pioneered the multi-step skincare routine that we religiously follow? Or who invented those fancy moisturizers and toners that promise to transform our skin overnight? Well, if you thought it was Gwyneth Paltrow or Kylie Jenner, think again. Because in the early 1900s, long before the Kardashians or influencers were promoting their own beauty lines, there was Helena Rubinstein, a Polish-born Australian entrepreneur who quite literally invented modern skincare. So let us rewind the clock and get to know the fascinating story of this remarkable woman whose impact on the beauty industry is still felt today. This gave her an idea. Why not sell her homemade creams here? These women needed them. Business was good, but she knew she could do better. She also began talking about skin types, which was a revolutionary idea at the time. Women didn't know that they weren't all the same and needed different products. So her company was once valued at over $100 million. By the 1930s, she was a billionaire. She had created a network of luxury beauty salons that offered personalized treatments and products for every type of skin. They faced sexism and classism, but they didn't let it stop them. Elizabeth famously said, "A woman is only as young as the woman she looks like," while Helena famously said, "There are no ugly women, only lazy ones." She knew how to make people want what she was selling, not just because it was good for them, but because it made them feel good about themselves. She understood the power of image, and she used it to her advantage. She knew that people wanted to look younger, healthier, and more beautiful, and she gave them the tools to do it. She didn't just sell creams, she sold confidence, science, and self-worth. And that's why she's still a legend today. She also knew how to make people feel guilty if they didn't buy her products. If her story inspired you, like and subscribe for more women who shape the world. See you next time. She said things like, "Don't let your face become a battleground," which made women think that they needed her help to win the war against aging. They were both right. Beauty is more than skin deep. It's about how we take care of ourselves and how we feel inside and out. They proved that women could succeed in any industry if they set their minds to it. But they also pushed each other to be better. The Helena Rubinstein brand is still around today, still selling skincare products to millions of women around the world. But more than that, she left behind an idea. She showed that beauty should be scientific, inclusive, and empowering. She showed that taking care of yourself is not a luxury, but a necessity. She paved the way for today's skincare giants and influencers. They competed for the best products, the best salons, and the best customers. She was famous for her dramatic entrance, wearing a long black dress and a diamond necklace. She was always surrounded by artists, intellectuals, and celebrities. She collected art and became a patron of modernism. She linked beauty with high culture and made people feel like being beautiful was a sophisticated pursuit. They wanted it all, and they weren't afraid to go after it. Their competition helped push innovation in the beauty industry and change the way we take care of ourselves. Helena was one of the first to realize this, and she used it to build her brand. By the end of the 1900s, her beauty empire was growing fast. She wanted to expand, but she needed a brand, so she created one. Using her scientific knowledge from her friend Edward, she came up with the name Velazzi, which sounded French and scientific, and she created a backstory about a Hungarian doctor who made the cream in a lab. Of course, this doctor didn't exist, but people loved the story. It made the product sound special and exclusive. But in order to do this, she needed a new name. So she changed her name to Helen and called her friend as wife Vaseline because she was the one who taught her how to make the creams. She wanted to change the way women took care of themselves. That's why she did 3 things that no one had done before. First, she was one of the first to promote skincare as a science, not a luxury. In the early 1900s, there was another woman who was changing the beauty industry, Elizabeth Arden. They were famous rivals. Helena represented science, and Elizabeth represented glamour. Helena focused on skincare, and Elizabeth focused on makeup. Helena was a businesswoman, and Elizabeth was a celebrity, but they both achieved the same thing, breaking the mold and paving the way for generations of women. Second, she pioneered customized skincare treatments. Every woman's skin is different, so why use the same product on everyone? Third, she brought dermatology into beauty. She hired medical professionals to work in her salons. Other beauticians laughed at her, but Helena didn't care. She knew that science was the future of beauty. Then she started selling the creams door to door. But soon she made enough money to open her own shop. 1. Early life and background. Helena Rubinstein was born in Krakow, Poland in 1872. Her Jewish family was poor, and she had 8 sisters to look after. Life was tough, but Helena was ambitious. From a young age, she knew she didn't want the traditional life of an Eastern European Jewish woman, getting married and having lots of babies. Instead, she wanted more from life, but she also knew she needed a plan. She couldn't read or write very well and didn't have much education. Staying in school wasn't an option, so she needed something she could do right away. When she was 18, she met a family friend named Edward, a retired army medic, who lived with his wife. He would make skincare creams for her, which were very popular among the local women. In seeing this, Helena got an idea. She decided to move to Australia and start selling these creams. So in 1896, she got on a ship bound for Melbourne with a suitcase full of creams and a dream for a better life. In Australia, she quickly noticed that the women there had dry, leathery skin because of the harsh sun. 2. The birth of a skincare empire. In 1902, Helena Rubinstein opened her first beauty salon in Melbourne. But Helena didn't stop there. But Helena wasn't satisfied with just selling creams, and her instincts were right. In the 1920s, she expanded to London, then to Paris and New York, and soon she had salons all over the world. 3. The rivalry with Elizabeth Arden. Helena Rubinstein was a trailblazer, but she wasn't alone. They were also both self-made women in a male-dominated business world. Elizabeth believed in the power of fragrance and image, while Helena believed in the power of science and results. 4. Marketing genius and personal image. Helena Rubinstein was a marketing genius, but Helena was more than just a savvy businesswoman. She was a global icon. 5. Legacy and lasting impact. Helena Rubinstein died in 1965, but her legacy lives on. So the next time you apply a moisturizer or cleanser, remember Helena Rubinstein, the woman who invented modern skincare. Well, that's all for today.